1988, Flight Lieutenant Alford moved to Canada. The entry system continued and we started to increase the sizes of the entries. I took over as a CO, and as you can see, we were getting entries which in some respects were almost as big as some squadrons have cadets on their books. So the new entry flight, the new entry system, had as many people in it as the typical squadron in many respects. It was about that time that the band was formed. We were getting up to some reasonable size numbers of cadets, 80s and 90s. We used to go to all the Remembrance Sunday parades in the morning. We used to combine for the afternoon one at Weaver as one big squadron, which was great to see the entire squadron together marching through Weaver. The only problem was the band was a Scottish pipe band, and the cadets were all immaculately in step until the pipe band started up. Now, if you've ever heard of Scottish pipe band, they swagger, they don't march. And when they stopped playing again, the cadets all got back in step. So I went to Ron Hornby, who was the organiser in Weaver, and said to him, look, if we get a band together, will you let us lead the parade next year? And very bravely, he agreed to do precisely that. So, Flight Lieutenant Twose started teaching the buglers, and I started teaching the drummers, and that was the start of 146 Squadron Band, which I'm pleased to say has continued to go from strength to strength, earned a tremendous amount of money for local charities, and although the volume sometimes exceeds their expertise, they are very, very good at keeping people in step, I'm pleased to say, so thank you very much. So, new instruments are ordered. We're still awaiting them. The bugles have arrived, but hopefully you'll have new drums in the not too distant future. Thanks very much for the Swinging Committee for that. In '89, 50th anniversary of the ATC, John Lynn, who had been an officer with the squadron, actually got in touch with the old members of 146 Squadron Royal Air Force. And a large number of them actually joined us for that big day. We continue to keep in touch with the old 146 RAF members. Just to put you in the picture, 146 Royal Air Force was only a brake system in the Far East, mainly in Burma. It was disbanded during the war, so it never actually came back to the UK. We pinched their logo. That is 146 Squadron Royal Air Force, the motto and the panther, which we have very kindly taken from them. I'm pleased to say that when John Lynn used to send out his newsletter, he used to invite me to write a small article, which I did, and the feedback I got from these officers and men, ex-men from 146 RAF, they were very, very pleased that the squadron right now was continuing, that we were using their logo, and we were having the success that we did. So it's great to think that we had those people. The squadron at that time also went on to collect large numbers of trophies from wing competitions. And one of our cadets actually wrote an article together with the Air Cadets saying, Shorten Cadets, maybe Northwich has the answer. And I like to think that that's probably the start of a lot of other squadrons starting the intake system that worked so successfully for 146. That was just a collection of gold award holders, staff and cadets who had actually achieved their goal on the squadron that year. So as you see, numbers were starting to build up. And in '92, simply the best, that is when 146 Squadron won the Lees Trophy. For the new entry cadets who probably don't know, the Lees Trophy is presented to the squadron, which is considered the best squadron in the Air Training Corps, out of nearly 1,000 units. So we won that in 1992. Larger picture. A couple of these people you might recognise, looking a little bit younger there. The gentleman at the back there is Mr. Tony Woods, who went to be CO of 202 Squadron briefly. And another one who you might not know, Andy England at the back there, went on to join the Royal Air Force Regiment. He had the honour, if you could call it that, as opposed to carry Princess Diana's coffin when it arrived back at Norfolk from Paris after she very sadly been killed. The camp that we got as a reward for that was at RAF Larbrook in Germany. We couldn't take all the squadron, unfortunately, but a selected 30 cadets went to go. It was on the change. They'd lost the Tornadoes, they were waiting to get the Harriers. There wasn't a single aircraft on the base. outside the hangar while we got our photograph taken. You can see they've already got the roses folded, ready to go in. So we had our photographs taken in front of that, and that was about the only time we were moving forward for the entire week. Shortly after that, I stood down as CO, and very shortly after that itself, Nick Berry, Warrant Nick Berry, won the Dacre Sword in '94. Nick again went on to be CO 202 as an officer. He subsequently joined the RAF and the intelligence service, and is now actually an instructor at RAF Commodore. Numbers on the squadron actually decreased, sadly. I'm not an expert in my choices here to succeed me on that occasion. And shortly after that, Flight Lieutenant Alford moved back from Canada and took over as commanding officer of the squadron. He managed to reverse that very rapid decline in staff and cadet numbers. I'm pleased to say, unfortunately, Ray died in 2000 after a brave fight against cancer. He continued parading until literally days before his death. In the years running up to that, he and John Fay from the 391 Squadron started off the prestigious Junior Leaders course. And in fact, the trophy for the top junior leader is named in honour of Ray Alford, the Alford Trophy, and there's also a trophy that we present on the squadron, which is given to cadets each year for dedication, a quality that Ray certainly did not lack. After our kids had grown up,